Assalamu alaikum. In this video, we're going to cover the nth term rule topic, and we're also going to practice all questions related to this topic. Before we start, we need to know what a sequence is. A sequence is a list of numbers that follow a specific pattern. In addition, in terms of addition, subtraction, multiplication, so that is going to be a sequence. We should know that in a sequence, all of these numbers are terms, right? So this is the first term, this is the second term, this is the third term, and this is the fourth term. Now, the letter n here would be representing the position number of a specific term, right? Let's take an example of this one. So over here, n is equals to 1. That means that we're just telling that this is the first term, or this is the position of 2 is 1, right? And if you look at this one right here, n is equals to 4 because 5's position here is on 4th in the sequence. Now that we know this, let's move on to the most basic questions of this topic. They're asking us to work out the first 3 terms of a sequence that follows n minus 6 rule. So we have to find out the first 3 terms, right? So we'll just write over here the first term would be n minus 6, which would be equal to position would be 1, and minus 6, which would give us a minus 5. So this is going to be our first term. Now the second term we would work out in the same way, n minus 6. So n would be equals to 2 minus 6, which would give us a minus 4. Whereas the third term would be 3 minus 6, which will give us minus 3. So our sequence basically would be minus 5, comma, minus 4, comma, minus 3. This is our sequence. Okay, now this question right here gave us another nth term rule. Now we have to do the same, find the first position. First position would be 2 bracket 1 plus 3, which will give us. Second would be 2 bracket 2 plus 3, again that will give us 7. Then the third one would be 2 bracket 3 plus 3, that gave us a 9. 6, so yeah, so our sequence basically is 5 comma 7 comma 9 comma, and then we'll just make a dot. They just told us to find the first 3 terms. So if they tell us to find the 10th term, right, so we'll just go with 10th term would be equal to 2 bracket 10 plus 3, which will give us 23. So this is going to be our 10th term if they told us to do that, right? Now first type of questions would be they'll give us the rule and tell us to make the sequence, and the second type of questions would be they'll give us the sequence and ask us to find the nth term rule. This may seem complex, but it's actually really easy. I'll tell you how to do it, and you'll just have to perfect it with some practice. So to do that, first of all, we need to find out how many numbers are they adding each term, right? So we can see there's obviously a plus 4, right? And over here it's a plus 4, and here's the plus 4, right? We do not have to write it each time. We can directly look at the first and the second term and figure it out, right? So by that we write 4 and then we write n. Okay, so this is the first step. And now the second step is how much the numbers is being added. We have to see how can we make this 4 a 2. So that would be by minusing 2, right? So this is going to be our nth term rule, right? It sounds weird at first, but you'll understand. Now over here 5, 6, 7, 8, we can see it's being added by 3, right? So we'll write 3n. Now how can we make this 3 a 5? By adding 2. So this is our nth term rule for this sequence, right? If we were to find the 5th term right here, like let's say we have to find the 5th term right here, we can use this, we can say 3 and position number 5 plus 2, which will give us 3 5s are 15, 16, 17. So it would be, the answer would be 17. Now look, this is being a plus 3, and here's the plus 3, and obviously if we add 3 in 14, we'll get a 17. So we can either do it by this or we can do it by this. Now over here we see that the numbers are being subtracted. We can see it's a minus 3, right? We minus 3 by 18, which will give us a 15. So we write that way. This is our first step. And now how do we make this minus 3 and 18? So that would be plus 21. But how do I figure that out? You can make a number line and make a 0, and then to get to 18 like these are our 2 points, right? -3 and we have 18. To get from -3 to 0, we'll obviously have to do a +3, and to get from 0 till 18, we'll have to do a +18, right? So we just add these two. If we do a big jump from -3 to 18, that would be a +21. So that's how we find out how much we'll have to add. It's going to be +21, and this is going to be our nth term rule, right? You do not have to do this each time, because you'll understand how it's done after some practice. Now, these are the third types of questions. Now, they've told us the nth term rule for the nth term expression for a sequence is this. Is the number 39 in the term of the sequence? Now, to do that, we'll first of all, we'll have to write out the nth term rule like that, and then we'll have to write is equals to 39, because we're trying to find the position number. We're trying to find the position number that is this number in the sequence at a specific position number. So the point here is that if when we solve this, we should get an integer, not a decimal nor a fraction, right? Because the position number can only be in an integer, right? There can be a position number that is like 2, right? Or like 7, like that. But a position number of a sequence can't be like 7.5 or like a 7.8, like that. So we'll try to solve this. We first add both sides with 3, right? If we add both sides with 3, this side would get cancelled, and we'll be left with 2n is equals to 39 plus 3. 2n is equals to 42, right? And then we divide both sides with 2. So these two would be cancelled, and we'll be left with this part, and then we can simplify this. 2 ones are 2 and 2 21s are 42, right? So n is equals to 21. This essentially means that 39 is on the 21st position of this sequence that follows this rule. Over here we have we'll do this in the same way. We have an expression, we have the rule, and then we have this number, and they're asking is this term in the sequence or not. So 6n plus 7 is equals to 60. 6n is equals to 60 minus 7, because we subtracted this obviously, so these two got cut, and then n is equals to 60 minus 7. I'll just simplify it afterwards, right? So it's gonna be n is equals to 53 upon 6. So these are obviously not divisible by each other, so we'll get an approximate of 8.8, right? And this is not a sane number, this is not an integer, so that means that 60 is not in the sequence. So for this you'll have to write the answer. You'll write no, 60 is not in the sequence.